So Rosie's family, as you know, has just played a huge part in this trial. Both of her brothers, her sister have testified. Criminal defense attorney Dan Conaway is with me to talk about what the DiPuccios said on the stand, what we'll hear, too, later this hour from another major witness. Dan, so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Poor guy lost a tire on the way here, but he got it changed and made it here in time. Impressive. All right, let's talk about the DiPuccios' testimony. What struck me, particularly from Rocco, her brother, was when he said something to the extent of, look, we loved Yaz. He was part of our family. There has been so much emotion connected to their testimony. How can the defense take that bit of that element away so the jury can try to make a decision based solely on facts and not emotions? Is it possible?
It's possible, but it's obviously difficult, and it's difficult because of all the emotion in this case. This is extraordinarily good testimony for the prosecution because it is so emotional, and this is an emotional case. Any case involving the death of a family member is, and then you've got all the other issues in this case, the cheating on the side, all the other things. But what they've got to do is really focus on the evidence and focus on the lack of evidence in this case. And there's a genuine lack of evidence in this case as far as there's no direct forensic DNA type evidence directly linking him to this case. It's all circumstantial. It's based partly upon his behavior and partly upon the testimony. And so the prosecution does have an uphill battle here, and the defense really needs to say, look, you've got to focus on the facts in this case. And the truth of this case, as the defense, is that there are no facts. There are no direct linkages linking this defendant with the death, and therefore you must acquit. And they need to focus on the facts in that issue.
But can you, from a prosecution standpoint, since all they have is what's being said in testimony and his behavior, can you convict on that?
Well, it depends. Circumstantial evidence says this. You have to basically eliminate, meaning the prosecution has to eliminate each and every other basically reasonable conclusion. They have to eliminate all other reasonable conclusions that the jury could reach. And if they can't do that, then circumstantial evidence is not enough. And so that's really the crux of the defense here.
So they have to narrow the focus solely to him in order to convict without any, because obviously they need reasonable doubt. So let me ask you this, and I want to play some tape here real quickly from Christine DeCillo. She's one of Rosie's friends, and in one of her last conversations with Rosie, Rosie told her that Yaz was making her, I guess, take these calcium pills. And so Christine is the one who realized this could be significant after Rosie died, and she alerted police. That's how the calcium pills came into play. Let's listen to what Christine had to say here.
From the get-go, I needed to get off the phone with Eva and figure out how to get involved. It wasn't a matter of appeasing the family or anybody else. She was my friend, and I felt like something needed to be done, and I needed to spring into action. And I sort of do that, act first and think later, I guess. But I have no regrets, and I never wait for anybody to advocate on my behalf. If I have something to say, I say it for myself loudly until someone listens.
Now, she's going to be on the stand a little bit later today. How key is her testimony, do you think?
Oh, I think it's absolutely key. And just in that snippet there, I think you see that she's going to be a very good witness. She's very poised. She speaks well. She really has a point to make, and she seems to really have strong conviction about her feelings. And so her testimony will be strong. She's
very confident. But how, from the defense's standpoint, can you diffuse that?
I think you can. And again, you go back to the facts. And the facts is that this doctor, if he supposedly did this, let's assume for a minute that he actually did this, right? Why would he leave the calcium pills at home? Why not just throw them out, destroy the evidence? And also, he's a doctor. And so he would know to do that. You don't leave the actual key evidence sitting around the house, right? So it makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense that this defendant would commit this crime. It has to be somebody else because he wouldn't be stupid enough to leave the evidence around.
That's what you would think, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what they're banking on, they're hoping. Okay. Dan Conaway, criminal defense attorney, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Good to have your input. So as you know, we are in